Built by Simon and branded for Lance, the Soho 50 scooter answers the call for both economy and mobility in personal urban transportation. An estimated 117 miles per gallon and the ease with which you can park this gem makes it a go-to ride for running errands in cities, towns, campuses and gated communities when walking won't do and transportation options are limited. Not classic and not modern aggressive, the Soho 50 falls into a more retro contemporary style, typical 50cc scooter without looking like a sport bike wannabe like you might find in the Zuma from Yamaha or the Super 8 from Kymco. Typical of scooters, there's under-seat storage that accommodates a half helmet. The compartment holds up to 22 pounds and it's not weather-tight. You'll be okay if caught in the rain. But when washing the scooter, take out anything you don't want to get wet. There is a glove box in the front tower, but it'll only hold little bits and bobs. For a little extra storage, the Soho 50 comes with a rear luggage rack, and of course, there's always the cargo deck between your feet. The Soho 50 is rated for 117 miles per gallon, but as with any fuel economy rating, that's under ideal conditions traveling at a moderate speed. In the real world, you can expect 85 or 90 miles per gallon, which is still quite fuel efficient and makes the 1.2-gallon fuel tank last a long time. Instrumentation on the Soho's retro dash cluster is adequate for a scooter, speedometer and odometer, turn signals, high beam indicator and an easy-to-read fuel gauge. Sime, one of the largest scooter manufacturers in the world, built the Soho 50 for Lance using a fairly traditional layout. Though the factory specs are a bit ambiguous, Mike Hickman down at Lance Powersports in Mira Loma, California, assures me that it runs on a tubular steel underframe, and not a monocoque or unibody as some of the design aspects seem to suggest. The frame comes with a full drop allowing for a dead flat foot area, and the little between-feet cargo deck scooter riders like to use for a bit of extra cargo capacity for grocery-getting missions. Telescopic front forks buoy the front end, while a single, coilover shock floats the rear between the swing unit motor and rear subframe. The rear shock mounts to the left of center, which leaves it looking a bit asymmetrical from the rear, but it makes sense because that is closer to center of mass for the drive unit. 16-inch aluminum rims, an almost unheard of size for scooters, mount the road rubbers. These uncommonly large wheels handle rough patches better than the smaller versions, track well on the straights and make the Soho 50 corner with more enthusiasm than one might expect. I've always hated the little, wheelbarrow tires many scooters run, and this makes for a refreshing change. Right off the top of my head I can think of at least half a dozen, full-sized bikes that run smaller wheels, so the little Soho is ahead of the game in this department. A dual pot, piston and anvil, hydraulic caliper pinches the 226mm front brake disc, and a 130mm mechanical drum binds the rear. No ABS or any such bollocks, just good, old-fashioned brakes with honest feel and feedback. A 49cc, 4-cycle, air-cooled thumper engine drives the Soho up to 30 miles per hour, restricted. Knee/6 ceramic treatment on the cylinder wall resists wear for longer engine life and low friction operation. This little mill produces 1.9 horsepower at 7,500 RPM and 2 pound and 30 pence-feet of torque at 6,500 RPM, sufficient for the work it has to do. It sports both an electric starter and a kickstarter, so you have that little bit of redundancy along with opportunities to look cool kicking it to life. Win-win. A continuously variable transmission (CVT) finishes out the drivetrain, and you can expect up to 117 miles per gallon in perfect riding conditions with the restrictor in place, or around 90 miles per gallon unrestricted. MSRP on the Soho 50 is $1,699 and comes in your choice of butterscotch yellow, arctic white, ruby red, midnight black, sky blue. Lance offers a 24-month limited warranty.